Faith isn't random, it's a system. And if your money keeps disappearing every month, if you keep praying for breakthrough, but still feel trapped by bills, debt, and pressure, maybe the problem is not that God has failed you. Maybe you were taught only part of the system. You were taught to pray. You were taught to give. You were taught to believe. And all of that matters. But many Christians pray over money they never manage. They tithe from income they never track. They ask God for increase, but ignore the wisdom He already gave. The Bible is not silent about money. It talks about work, debt, planning, saving, giving, skill, wisdom, stewardship, and responsibility. So, here is the uncomfortable truth. Many Christians are not broke because they lack faith. They are broke because they are running a broken financial system and calling it trust in God. Let's start with giving. Malachi 3:10 says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse." Giving matters. Tithing matters. Generosity matters. But giving does not replace stewardship. Many believers give 10% to God, then spend the other 90% with no plan, no budget, no tracking, no clear direction. Then they wonder why their finances are still in chaos. But Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Notice that word, plans. Not wishes, not panic, not emotions. Plans. God blesses diligence. But many people are asking God to bless chaos. And chaos is not a plan. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." That means God watches how we handle small things before He entrusts us with bigger things. More money will not fix a broken system. It will only expose it faster. So, the first step is simple. Know where your money is going. Proverbs 27:23 says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds." In the ancient world, flocks and herds were wealth. Today that means your income, your bank account, your bills, your debts, your spending habits. You need to know what comes in. You need to know what goes out. You need to know what is growing. And you need to know what is leaking. Because what you do not inspect, you will eventually lose. So, here is the first action. For the next 7 days, write down every dollar you spend, every meal, every subscription, every online order, every coffee, every delivery fee. Do not judge it yet, just write it down. Because you cannot correct what you refuse to confront. The second reason many Christians stay broke is that they confuse waiting on God with avoiding responsibility. In 2 Kings chapter 4, a widow comes to the prophet Elisha. Her husband is dead. She is in debt. The creditors are coming for her sons. She is desperate. Elisha asks her one question. "What do you have in your house?" She says she has nothing, except a small jar of oil. Nothing except. That small jar became the starting point of the miracle. Elisha tells her to borrow empty jars from her neighbors, not a few. Then she pours the oil, and the oil keeps flowing. One jar, then another, until there are no jars left. Then the oil stops. Do not miss this. The oil did not stop because God ran out. The oil stopped because the jars ran out. Her preparation became the container for the miracle. Many people are praying for oil, but they have not gathered jars. They want income, but they have not built skill. They want opportunity, but they have not prepared discipline. They want open doors, but they have not developed the ability to walk through them. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "It is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." Not just wealth, ability. That means skill matters, learning matters, training matters, excellence matters. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings." Skill creates value, and money often flows toward value. So, here is the second action. Choose one skill that can create income. Writing, video editing, sales, design, teaching, marketing, repair work, cooking, bookkeeping. Choose one. Then for the next 30 days, learn it for 1 hour and practice it for 1 hour every day. Your future income may be hidden inside a skill you have not developed yet. Now, let's talk about work. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Faith is not passive. Faith moves. Faith builds. Faith prepares. Faith obeys. Proverbs 14:23 says, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." Mere talk is when you talk about dreams, but never build. Talk about business, but never start. Talk about breakthrough, but never change habits. The Bible is practical. It does not reward fantasy. It honors faithful action. Joseph understood this. In Genesis 41, Pharaoh has a dream. 7 good years are coming, then 7 years of famine. Joseph does not only explain the dream, he creates a plan. During the good years, collect 20%. Store it. Prepare for the famine. That is budgeting. That is saving. That is strategy. Joseph was not less spiritual because he planned. He was obedient. The revelation came from God, but the system had to be built by man. So, here is the third action. Before you spend your money, give every dollar a job. Some money is for giving. Some money is for basic needs. Some money is for destroying debt. And some money is for building your future. That future may be savings. It may be investment. Or it may be a skill that helps you earn more later. The point is simple. Do not let money arrive without an assignment. Because money without an assignment usually disappears. Now, we must talk about debt. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The borrower is slave to the lender." Debt takes more than money. It takes options. It takes peace. It takes freedom. Every payment is future income already promised to the past. Romans 13:8 says, "Let no debt remain outstanding." Debt should not become your permanent way of life. So here is the fourth action. List every debt from smallest to largest. Pay the minimum on all of them. Then attack the smallest one with everything extra you can find. When that debt is gone, take the same payment and attack the next one, debt by debt, chain by chain, until you are free. Now, let's talk about desire. Hebrews 13:5 says, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have." Contentment is not poverty. Contentment is control. It means trends do not control you. Comparison does not control you. Impulse does not control you. So, use the 24-hour rule. Before buying something unnecessary, wait 24 hours. If it is still wise tomorrow, buy it. But many times, the emotion will fade. And when the emotion fades, wisdom returns. Finally, think multiplication. In Matthew 25, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. The faithful servants did not just protect what they received, they multiplied it. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, "Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. That is wisdom. That is preparation. That is not depending on one stream forever. So once a week, ask yourself, what can I turn into value? A skill, a service, a product, a lesson, a solution. Start small." Zechariah 4:10 says, "Who dares despise the day of small things?" God is not embarrassed by small beginnings. He is watching your faithfulness, so know, you are not forgotten, you are not disqualified, but you may need to stop asking God to bless a system He never gave you. Track your money, build your skill, clear your debt, control your desires, create value, repeat the system. Because maybe the breakthrough you are praying for begins with obedience to the instruction already in your hand. Faith isn't random, it's a system. Start running it right. Faith Operating System explores God's wisdom for real life. If you want to keep learning, follow the channel. Stay hungry. Stay wise.